Fear to faith. I mean, it sounds good, it's catchy, it has like a nice ring to it, but I'm sure the question that's going through your mind is, how do I do it? What is it? And how do I get from here to there? Well, don't worry, that's what I'm here for. We're gonna do this together. I'm gonna navigate you through this. I'm so honored to be able to share this cycle with you that I've created, that I've literally had to use over and over and over. And it has saved me. See, there was a time where I didn't know how I was going to get from here, life event, to there, like action. And truth be told, I wasn't supposed to be here. The cycle starts out with what I call a life event. So the life event and the thing that almost took me out started back in 2013. So my husband and I have been married about 2 years, and it was both of our second marriages, and I never wanted to have kids before I met my husband. Like, to the point that I would tell my ex-in-laws to back off my ovaries. They were not up for discussion or planning. Like, it was that serious. I'm not kidding. Well, that all changed after I met my husband. And I should have known better, because I have been taught, and I've always said, the atmosphere has ears, so you better watch your mouth. So, I clearly did not take my own advice and what I've been taught. And so after we decided to get pregnant, or have a baby, we got pregnant pretty quickly. And I'll never forget going into the delivery, I was scared because I had decided to have a natural birth. I was like, yes, we're doing this naturally. Yes, this is good. This is great. Terrified, out of control, okay? Out of my control. So I went into delivery scared, but yet having full faith that everything would work out. Well, our baby boy joined our family on March 13th of 2013. But as he came into this world, struggling to breathe, I'll never forget the fear that welled up inside me. I'll never forget, after 5 days of many tests being run, not sleeping, praying a lot, and trying to take advantage of every ounce of time I had. I'll never forget the doctor coming in, very cold, very disconnected, and saying, your baby has no brain activity. He's not gonna survive or live. And you guys, this life event for me brought up all the emotions, from deep pains of anguish, fear, sadness, grief, and even failure, guilt, and shame. But I remember when this happened, I knew that I had to lean into my faith. I knew that I had to rise. I knew that immediately. I will say it was not easy. But you guys, I believe that when these life events or things happen to us, we have a choice and we have an opportunity. You have a choice and you have an opportunity. I believe that each mess, that life event thing, I call it a mess, when they happen, be it a moment of loss, pain, struggle, or failure, it creates an opportunity for us to learn, for us to grow, and for us to find the message in that mess. So fear, oh my God. In comes the gremlin fear. Here's what I want you to know. When your life event or your mess happens, fear will show up. And it will try to perform what I call, it's like Jedi, samurai, mind tricks. It will try to mind jack you, right? It will. But here's what I want you to know and be aware of. When fear shows up, it shows up to steal your joy, your dreams, and your purpose for which you were predestined for. However, moving forward despite the fear is the essence of faith. It's saying, yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm vulnerable. But I trust in my faith more than this feeling of fear. It's saying, yes, I will rise up in spite of my circumstances, and I will do what I was placed here on this earth to do, because I believe in my faith and my ability to heal from this hurt, and that it shall not own me or control me. When these things happen, you have a choice to shrink back, stay stuck, play small, or rise up, move forward, and take your power back. Pause. You guys, when I went through these two major life events, it was hard, right? It's hard. And I'll go back. Let me take a quick second back to give you an example of my fear. I want to move this. So one of my other life events that happened to me that brought about a lot of fear was I had been working for 16 years as a successful sales rep in medical device sales and pharmaceutical sales. I'd just gotten promoted to senior territory manager, sales manager. I was the only African American female in my entire division across the country. And I got, thank you. And I got pushed right out of my job. Talking about being naked and afraid, feeling like that you just got stripped of the thing that you worked so hard for and that you wanted and that you knew you gave every ounce of like your being to that job. You guys, it was scary because I had to make a choice to rise up or stay stuck. But what it also gave me was an opportunity to say, you know what? That season's ended. Yes, I'm scared, but I'm going to actually finally stand up and go do what I was called to do. I'm not gonna play that game anymore. I'm not gonna play fear because I have this opportunity and this choice, and this time I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it in spite of my fear and in spite of my circumstances, in spite of no matter how vulnerable I feel, no matter how unprepared I feel, I'm gonna do it. And I'm so grateful I did. But after the two major life events that happened for me, every single time I had to take time to pause, meaning take time to be still, to let go of control, to grieve, to really lean into my faith and prayer, to decide and actually, not decide, but actually hear kind of like my next steps, where I was headed. But then to decide, how am I going to take my power back? You know what? Taking your power back looks different for everybody. And the way that I explain it is, it's doing what makes you feel alive, present, and powerful. And that looks different for everyone. For me, it looked like going to grievance counseling. Even if my husband wasn't ready for it, I went on my own. He fully supported it, but I went on my own because I knew that I needed to be surrounded by other women who had been through what I was going through and that who were there to help me not feel isolated and alone. It meant going to work out, do hot yoga, because I knew my body needed that power. And that was even on the days that I didn't feel like it. I still press forward. It's a choice. It meant really leaning into my faith and prayer so that I could be guided as far as my next steps for what I call my purpose work. Because you really don't do that on your own. Like, you don't have it all figured out. So I knew I needed to pause. I needed to be still. And that's what I had to do. And in that pause, I had to decide how I was going to take my power back. That's your next step. While you're pausing, start contemplating, how can I take my power back? And it doesn't take like these massive action steps like, I'm going to go start a business right now. No, it could be simple things. Things like, I remember back when I lost my son, it was just the power of getting up and brushing my teeth and taking a shower. Like that. That simple, but that activated me, right? That made me feel like I had some control versus lying down and letting it all take advantage of me. Choices. I believe when we go through these life events, you get to a point where you get to make some choices. And you get to decide and ask yourself, what new choices can I make from this new place of truth and not fear? It gives you an opportunity to look at things and say, are you going to say, this was horrible, I'll never heal, I'll never move forward? Or are you going to say, you know what, yes, this happened to me, and it really freaking hurt. But I believe in my power to move forward. And I believe that there is more for me and that I can heal from this hurt and that I can move forward. It's saying those things to yourself. It's making the choice to say, I will not stay stuck. I will not shrink back in fear, and I will stand in my power. It's making those choices day after day after day. And one of the big choices for me was, after losing my job, is I got the opportunity to reshape what I thought success was. Like, wow, that was a huge revelation for me. How am I going to perceive success? I made the decision that I wasn't going to worry about what everybody else thought it should look like, even if that meant going after a six-figure sales career, or if it meant letting go of certain luxuries, and having to sacrifice some things. Even if people didn't understand it. Even if it didn't look like the definition of what society would consider success. It's what I call creating a life of meaningful success. Meaning, creating and cultivating what matters most to me and brings me purpose and joy. Because let's be real, I'm living this life, right? It has to serve me too. Because if I'm not at my best and I'm not operating in my purpose and operating in joy, what good am I to other people? To my husband, to my son, to my friends, to my legacy. You guys, what you're here doing and creating and manifesting, it's not just about you. It's the people that are out there waiting for you to help them, to show them the way, to create and build your legacy so that you can then infuse that into them so that they can start building their legacy. It's legacy work. And it has to be meaningful. You don't have to worry about what someone else said you should be doing. And when I say take your power back, that's when you're really operating in your power. Because you're doing you. So do you, boo. Do you. Do you. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's easy. It's not, you guys. We all get faced with fear and different life events and messes that come. And it's like those things that you're like, oh, it's just not the right time. No, not now. I should just run and hide. No, but no. You have to take your power back. You have to stand firm and know that you were made for more. You're not meant to play small. And you guys, I knew this when I made that decision to start my business, and thank goodness for my husband for pushing me. So it's good to have a tribe too. You need those people who are going to push you, that are going to say, no, you're not going to lay there. You will rise up. You will step up into your purpose. You were made for more and more. So go do it. Go do it, girl. And guess what? It doesn't matter if it's like, my goal is to be a millionaire. That's not everybody's purpose, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't matter if it's small or if it's big. Do it. The key is to do it and show up. And the last thing is action. This is where the rubber meets the road. I mean, it's all good to write down all the things and to do all the things and to say all the things, but it's a whole nother ball game to put action behind it. You guys know this. It's a whole different story. And I remember being at that point where I'm like, oh, I said I'm doing this. Like, I told my mom, me and my husband have talked about it. Like, this is real. Like, I won't say it, but stuff's about to get real. I'll just say that one. I'll be nice. I'll act like a lady like I am myself. But it's about to get real. And I knew I needed to take action. And guess what? Action doesn't mean like major, massive shifts. It's just taking small steps. It's like doing that thing, right? That gains momentum. It's taking the steps so that you get yourself closer to it. Because I believe when we start taking these steps towards what it is we want to create and cultivate and bring forth that is meaningful to us, we start closing the gap on meaningful success. You move closer towards it. It's not like you jump off and you like arrive. So what does that look like? It might be taking action on that book that you've been holding inside that you know is in you. It might be starting that side hustle even while you have your full-time job. It might mean dedicating 1 hour after you put your kids to bed, working on that business that you want to eventually be your full-time job. It can be as simple as that, but it's saying yes. It's saying yes to the movement. It's saying, yes, I will take action, not tomorrow, but today. And let me tell you, I can speak on this, really, really speak on this, because I am what I like to call a recovering type A perfectionist. I'm always in recovery, okay? Always. That's why this says, be present, not perfect. I chose it for a reason. Because I can get in this space of like, I want everything to be perfect before I take action. Or I can get stuck in like analysis paralysis. Like, oh my God, I got to get all this right. Doing all the things, overthinking all the things, and not doing anything. What the heck? You guys, that is just another form of fear, control, and procrastination. Stop yourself. And you guys, once I realized like I was getting in this habit, I had to get real with myself, and I had to take up the words of my mom. My mom has always said, don't talk about it, Natasha, be about it. Meaning, stop talking about all the things and go do it, go be about it. So don't talk about it, be about it. So instead of talking about all the things you want to do, start making momentum towards what it is that you need to be doing to get you closer to your goal. You guys, I truly believe this, is that when we stand in our power, we acknowledge our mess, there are lessons and there are blessings when we start taking action. And there are even lessons, blessings, messages, even when you mess up, when you fall and you make a mistake, it does not matter. It doesn't matter if you fail 1, 2, 3, 5 times. Just keep going. Just keep showing up and do it over and over and over again. Because I truly believe this, you guys, is that when we do that, we truly step into letting go of superficial success. You let go of happiness, and you start stepping into joy. And I want to touch on this last point. There's a big difference between happiness and joy. So I speak on meaningful success and true joy. There's a big difference. Happiness is an external presence. It's based on happenings. The things that are happening to you in your life that make you feel good in those moments when they're happening, right? They come and go. They're fleeting. Like you got a new job, a new car, a new promotion, an additional degree, another certification, like layer on all the things. But happiness is fleeting. It comes and it goes with those things. But joy is a permanent possession. It's an internal presence. Joy remains even amidst the suffering, and it is available to all of us. Joy has the power to sustain you through the ups, the downs, when you lose your job, when your marriage fails, your kids start acting cray. Joy is there. It's a permanent possession. And when you learn joy and how to be in joy and in gratitude, even when you don't have the six-figure sales job, even when you don't have this many likes, when you start to begin to understand joy, which is a permanent possession that no one can take away from you, when you understand that, it's mind-blowing, you guys. All the things can be falling apart, and you still are rooted in joy. You still are able to wake up and move forward. Does it mean everything's going to be perfect? No, absolutely not. When the things happen, yes, are you going to still fear, anger, sadness? Yes, but joy remains even amidst the suffering. You can still wake up, you can still put a smile on your face, and you can still move forward because that's what it does. It keeps propelling you. So my hope leaving here today on our last day is that all of you rise into what you were called to do so that you can create a life of meaningful success on your terms, and so that you can start tapping into true joy so you are unshakable. You are unmovable from any obstacle that'll come your way, no matter how traumatic it is or how small it is. But you will be standing in your power, you will be operating fully in joy, and you will truly be achieving meaningful success. And I thank you.